Hello and welcome to ETAuto. As the electrification megatrend goes, MG Motor India is increasing its stake in the game. And to tell us more about the overall strategy, we have with us Gaurav Gupta, Deputy Managing Director at MG Motor India. Gaurav, thanks for talking to ETAuto.
Sumantra, always. Thank you so much, as always.
First things, the latest intervention, you have did some price revision, you're doing some offering the ZS EV and the Comet is much more affordable now. To the tune of up to maybe over 3.5 lakhs or so for the ZS EV and a lakh for the Comet. So what helped you? What's the strategy behind it, and how do you see the this impacting your performance?
So 2024 for us is a year of really making it a wow for the customer, and the lot of work at the back end over the last 2 years post COVID, in terms of material pricing, in terms of logistics, in terms of commodities contracts, efficiencies, all this coming together. Additionally, we are seeing also that worldwide the pricing of lithium etc. has also been on a declining trend. So packaging all of that, we are extremely delighted to offer a brand new variant of the ZS EV, one of the fastest selling EVs today, as an executive car at 18.98 lakhs, and with that too with a 51 kilowatt battery offering 461 kilometers of range. So that makes it really within the good reach of the customers. Additionally, we are also bringing our Comet, which has been the urban mobility vehicle as well, bringing it down because of the entire packaging. So all these efficiencies helps in repositioning our cars rightfully so, thanks to the work of the commodity at the back end. Not only in these cars, but also in our other vehicles. So for example, our Hector, our Aster and our Gloucester, we have looked at passing on the benefits to the customer at the start of the year as well. So it's going to be a very exciting year for MG Motor India.
Right, interesting. So staying with the electric vehicle portfolio, you are really placing your very strong bets on it. And right now, what about both of your overall volume comes from EVs?
No, you're right. Almost 25% plus actually comes to us from our EV portfolio. And frankly, if you see the numbers also as a country, last year the industry almost grew by 95% on a base, and almost close to 100,000 cars in a calendar year. This year, calendar year, also we're expecting the growth to be sustained in a similar manner.
And almost nearly doubling?
That's what we are betting on. And the reason for that is, and this will only continue even higher as we go forward. You could take plus minus 10% to be on the safe side. The reason for that is that now we are seeing more options for the customer over the next 2 years to come in. So there are more choices. Second, consumer also is becoming wiser and understand that cost of ownership, running cost of an EV is much more favorable than ICE. The charging infrastructure is really expanding rapidly across the country. In fact, many people would say there's not much of charging infrastructure, but frankly, the fixed DC chargers across the country, their usage rate is less than 4%.
Oh, is that so?
Exactly, yeah. So if we talk to all the bigger players who have got chargers, and we have got partnerships also with partners like GeoBP, BPCL, and we've got all our chargers there. It is not, the usage is in very low single digits, so there's upside potential there, right? And then coming on to that is that as and more and more localization starts to take place, thanks to the government policies of PLI and advanced cell chemistry, manufacturing, component manufacturing, all this is only going to help making EVs more within the reach of the persons, because earlier battery was a big issue. As we also at MG are going to be assembling battery in our company. So all this will make it more attractive. So putting all this together, the EV momentum will increase.
Right, and as you talked about the usage rate of the DC charger, which is quite surprising to understand.
Yeah.
But tell me, in your customer portfolio, what do they prefer more? In home charging or public charging or office charging?
So almost 90% of the consumer base, is more than satisfied with the home charger, because if you look at a ZS EV with a 461 range, you can typically undertake any amount of journey which you would like to take in one stretch. And then most of these pit stops have got a charger now. So we have seen their daily usage rates are completely covered by the charging at home. When they go onto the highways, these good batteries like ours helps consumers travel a long distance in a single charge, single stretch, and then they top it up on the way. So I am very convinced that while EVs today are secondary cars in their family, but we are at just about a turning point where this will become the primary usage vehicle for the family. And that is where the magic will happen.
And affordability plays a key role there.
Yes.
And with let's say with the ZS EV and the Comet becoming more affordable and by a significant margin that too, what kind of bump up do you expect in these models?
See, overall, we would expect at least 25% with upwards on the momentum, and rightfully so, because consumers are there who are wanting to get to the EVs, and we've got very good feedback on the product delivery, product performance. So all this becomes a very interesting package.
Right. And are you also looking at offering a, say, let's say, electrified version of, let's say, your first model year, which was the Hector?
Well, I must say that we are very gung-ho about bringing in one new vehicle every year. In fact, this year also we'll bring in one more car towards second half of the year. Not only that, every year going forward, minimum 2 cars are going to be brought in by MG Motor India.
Every year.
Every year.
All right. And this year, the one I can understand, you don't want to steal the thunder of that launch, but just to give a rough idea, would you look at playing on the premium range or maybe on the more affordable side of the price band?
I think at this point, I will leave it as a surprise for you, but definitely we will share with you about the vehicle very soon.
But going ahead, there are also in certain other markets, let's say particularly in Europe, in Germany, there have been changes in the government incentive schemes. In India, FAME is all likely to be FAME scheme is all likely to be continued. But as the government has also indicated earlier that at some point the industry has to be independent and government will kind of step back with the incentive. So, what is the timeline or what is the kind of penetration level you think would be suitable for the lawmakers also to take a call on that and let the government, let the industry be on this?
I think it's just been about a year and a half from the big steps towards encouraging manufacturing in passenger vehicles, advanced cell chemistry investment. That's very key. I think this trajectory will continue for some time, and ultimately, in a cadence manner, I think, because 30% of the passenger vehicles will be electric vehicles by 2030. In fact, it might be more, frankly, if you ask me. We will reach 30% higher, and the percentage will be higher by 2030. All these efforts will really be helpful to drive this and help in the overall system.
With what is happening in the EV space, let's say if you look at the OEMs of Tata Motors offering the Punch EV, you are making your most affordable EV even more affordable, and others like Mahindra coming up. So with this, what kind of penetration level for EVs do you expect by the end of this year, maybe?
See, right now, if you ask me, it's about 2.5% of the overall passenger, but it's a very percentage is misleading because penetration is taking time, but the growth rate is where the magic is, and that's where the essence you see. So I would say that by 2025, we would expect at least 10% of the industry to be electrified, and then take around 30%.
Okay, and in that timeline, if I were to look at it, so if you're looking at
this year, if you ask me, I would expect close to 4.5% or 5% within this year itself.
Right. So which means
we're doubling of versus last year.
Right. Which will be doubling of last year, right?
Yeah.
And you have 2 models now. The third model will join your EV portfolio this year.
So you are preempting my answer to say it's an EV portfolio. That's a very smart. That's a very good trick question. At this point, I'll say that as a company, we are pretty committed to bringing in and working towards electric vehicles right from ZS EV itself. And this entire sector of electric vehicles, not only models, but also the work we're doing in EV ecosystem, charging infrastructure, battery recycling, second life of the battery. Just yesterday we were at IIT Delhi, along with Drive, IIT Delhi and Batix. We just got a second life of the battery inaugurated there, where the cells which cannot be put back in the battery are being used to generate battery energy saving source. So you have a solar panel, you get the charge, you save it in the battery, and use it for again recharging vehicles. So the work of MG is not just in products but also largely in the ecosystem, and that is where the multiplier factor comes in for the industry overall.
Indeed, because that will also enhance the overall green quotient of
absolutely.
EVs. On that note, Gaurav, always pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, and happy to see you here. this is a great setup this time because you've got not only the sustainability but also the future technologies. So have a look at our displays. We've got a hydrogen fuel cell on display as well as all our portfolio.
By the way, talking about hydrogen, is that something that you would look at kind of having it in your portfolio, either or maybe in a hydrogen fuel or maybe
See,
hydrogen ice?
The way I see this is that in passenger vehicles, there's enough room for all different technologies to coexist as they become mainstream. So you've got gasoline, petrol, you've got diesel, of course you've got support systems there as well. You've got EVs, you've got HEVs, you'll have plug-in hybrids, and you'll have hydrogen fuel cell at some point in time in passenger vehicles, but all will have their own share. So we would probably be better to call them as NEVs, new energy vehicles, and ICE vehicles. So there will be a good mix of everyone as we go forward.
And you would like to have an NEV portfolio also?
Yeah.
All the best.
Thanks,
as they say, there is no silver bullet to addressing the global environment challenge. It is a bouquet of technologies that will achieve them.
Over here, just to take a, I think the mission that we've got and everyone's got together is to look at our overall net zero target for the country, and all these steps will play a big role in that also.
Indeed. Thank you very much,
Thanks
Gaurav, once again.
Thanks.
And there you heard Gaurav Gupta, Deputy Managing Director, MG Motor India, talking about the MG Motor strategy for India in terms of the expanding the EV portfolio and also his outlook for the passenger vehicle market in India, specifically EVs, and how beyond battery electric vehicles, there may be other solutions, including in the portfolio of MG. So on that note, thank you for watching this interview. Take care. Goodbye.